And welcome back to the DK Podcast Show. I'm Kelton.
And I'm Dustin.
And I think this episode we're going to do some, process after licensing for real estate agents?
So congratulations to Kelton.
Thank you.
He finally passed.
Sixth time?
Sixth time taking the test. He passed it. How long did it take you to take those tests each time?
Every bit of between 3 and 5 hours. 5 hours at the most, and then 3 was...
So 4 hours even? Let's
even
average
time.
it. Yeah, so that's a lot of hours taking one exam. How do you feel?
Relieved.
Me and you both, because there was a lot of pressure just on me. I was like, come on, Bubba. Come on, get this thing. So I'm pretty proud of you.
Thanks,
so,
man.
Yeah, you got to grind on. So now becomes the fun part. You know, if you got to get started in real estate. Real estate's a lot like a snowball.
Snowball.
Yes.
And why you say that?
Because it's going to smack you in the face.
And it's going to be cold.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. And
make me wet.
I'm not sure about that part, but hey, maybe. You never know what kind of real estate you get into. So, waterfront real estate might get you wet.
Waterfront properties. Hey.
Yep. So, So, Kelton, first of all, do you know what a SOI is?
SOI?
Yes.
No.
So, that is an abbreviation for sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence. Sphere.
Like a circle. Like
Ain't
the people around you.
Sphere? Oh, okay.
Like the earth.
The
circle around you. So, everybody who is in your sphere of influence is somebody that is a great contact for you to have in real estate. Most people don't spend enough time actually working on their sphere of influence. They want to go get leads that they pay, $45, $50 a piece for, and it's somebody they don't know, and they're not even working their own sphere. So big thing I'm going to tell you to start with is get the addresses, emails, birth dates, phone numbers, whatever other events you want to have for everybody in your sphere of influence. So that's a lot of work. Like, I know Tanner's your best friend. When's Tanner's birthday? I put him on the spot for folks. Yeah, exactly. So you don't know Tanner's birthday. What's Tanner's address? The whole address, number included.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I know you know what road he lives on, but there's a lot of work that goes on to making your sphere of influence, and so many people don't do it. So, for example, that's one of the very first things I can judge on how good an agent's going to be by whenever they give me their sphere of influence spreadsheet to put in our system to see if it's big and it's filled out and it's filled out correctly. I can tell that they're probably going to be a pretty good agent because they're spending that time and energy straight from the get-go. Other agents, they won't send me one at all, or it's, just their phone numbers and emails because that's easy to get. But tell me this, if you already had a database that you were building,
yeah,
and you went to go send Christmas cards, and you could just pull everybody that you wanted to from your sphere of influence and say, here's your Christmas card.
Oh, yeah, that'd make it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, so it's not only easier for this coming year, it's easier for next year and everything else. And so, like, our contact management system gives you a notification. It's a little bit of a cheat sheet. It says, hey, it's Tanner's birthday. So,
well, it's going to come in handy because, if it's not on my calendar, I'm not remembering.
We don't know it. Yeah, so if you want a meeting with me, what do you got to do?
Calendar.
Yeah, go
Google
to
Meets.
Google invite. It has got to be in there, or I am not going to be able to remember. I'm going to be flying around with chicken with my head cut off and not be able to get anywhere. But so that's my first piece of advice for anybody getting started in real estate. And this isn't just our company, but
start with the sphere of influence.
Start with your sphere of influence because those are your biggest fans, man.
Yeah.
So what questions do you have about getting started?
All right. So after I pass my next test, right, and once I pass both of them, and then I get my pocket card, I have to register with a firm, which would be y'all.
Hopefully. Maybe you haven't made it through the interview process yet. You still got an interview.
That's fine.
Okay. You want one of the interview questions real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you had to make up your own color of crayon,
yeah,
what color would it be and why? That represents you.
That represents me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Orange.
What color orange? It's got to be your own. It's a new color that you're going to make. What would it be?
Kelton orange.
Kelton orange. All right. So one of our questions is, if you had to make your own Crayola color.
Crayola color.
Yep. And make a crayon. What color would it be? What would you name it? And why? And it needs to represent you.
And it has to represent me.
Yes.
Well, I think it'd be like multiple colors. So it'd be like the orange, because like, orange is my favorite color. Then you got like, there's probably a little bit of camo in there, because gotta be out in the woods. Man, what type of interview question is this? Y'all don't do like the salt and pepper, like take them out to eat, see if they like put the salt on there before they taste the food?
Nah.
You don't know about that one?
Yeah, I know about that, but no. No, if you had to sing one song on American Idol, what would it be?
Drop it like it's hot.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. My color for you would have been ganja green. That's what my color would have been for you. Yes, that's
ganja green.
Yeah, it'd be like my shirt maybe. So
that's a little bit darker. Damn it! And we're back for the third time.
Third time's charm. Go there.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So that's sort of our interview questions, but we do actually interview if somebody is interested. We interview people because we don't want to take everybody and their brother at Mantle.
Well, I mean, I could see why.
Most people, they don't do that. Most firms are just like, here's the paperwork if you want to join us.
Like, come on, you're on.
Yeah, we've had to decline a couple people in the past. Well, just didn't fit. And sometimes it's just we don't have space for training. So we consider ourselves more like the Navy SEALs or Green Berets.
The best of the best in a small group.
Yeah, and then other people are more like the National Guard.
Yeah.
Like not all realtors are made the same. Not all realtors, real estate companies are made the same.
That's a very good way to put it. Real estate's like the branches of the military.
Oh, 100%. There's a lot of Coast Guards out there.
Yeah, and then you got like the real deal, and then you got like the guys that jump out the airplanes, and then you got the guys that go to the brig.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
All right, so back to your questions. What questions you got about getting started?
All right, as soon as I get out, what's the first thing I'll be doing?
Training.
Well, I know, but what's training consist of?
Oh, okay. Well, we don't just let you go running around like chicken with your head cut off.
Well, I mean, I figured that.
Well, again, some companies just go about your way and say, let me know if you got any questions. If not, find out from your coworkers.
And that's why I'm not going to affiliate with them.
Ah, well, good. My heart, it calms me down a little bit.
I know that makes you feel better.
Yeah. So we do training. We've got a crash course. It's a lot like boot camp, actually. It's 10 days, though. And then that goes from everything from how to write up a contract, how to use our website. So we've got a lot of back-end stuff on our website, so it makes life a little bit easier of doing the contract processes. Where to get your photos from.
Now, is this for every new agent?
That's for actually everybody gets some form of this, whether you're an experienced agent or a brand new agent in the real estate field. Everybody's going to get some of it because of our processes being a little bit different. And then some of it you're going to skip. Like if you're an experienced agent, you know how to write up a contract.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to teach you how to write up a contract or, explanation of everything. So we go over all that fun stuff of pretty much all the contract stuff, how to talk to people, what words to say, a little bit of like role playing. You like to role play?
I love the role play.
Me too. Yeah, I always love when I get the doctors in the role play, because they got a lot of money to buy a house.
I prefer the cop.
Oh, you know what? There is the Good Neighbor Next Door program for police officers and firefighters and stuff like that, teachers. Yeah, so they're great to role play with because you can put them in a Good Neighbor Next Door property, and they save like 50% of the house value if they stay there.
It's good to know.
It's craziness of good old nurse or cop or firefighter, good neighbor next door. So see, good role play. But yeah, so we do a little bit of that, and then we don't let you just go fly out the window and again.
Oh, I just can't pick up my buyer there.
Well, you
I
can
can't represent my seller.
Well,
right out the gate.
You can, but you're gonna have a lot of help with you. So,
well, I mean, you got to supervise.
Yeah,
you were Blythe.
Yeah, so we in North Carolina, whenever you first get your license, you're called what's a provisional broker until you take 3 classes.
That means he's got to look over
everything that he does. I am responsible for. So if he says something wrong, he makes a contract wrong, he states something to somebody that's not true,
that's his fault.
I get in trouble just as much as he does, and actually probably a little bit more for not looking after it as much. So, but with all that being said, we would rather actually have a brand new agent than we would an experienced agent.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you ain't got them bad habits already.
I tell everybody I want to teach you my bad habits, not the ones that other people already got you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's the same thing with weightlifting.
Exactly.
Like, if you go in there thinking you know everything and like don't know the form, you aren't going to see near as much gains as you would if you knew the proper form. And
Yep. Some people don't get that. Some people just want to go where it's cheap. Just so they can go in. So they got Planet Fitness people. Look at all these analogies we're throwing out there. Military, gym life. We're hitting them all, folks. We're hitting them all. So
this is why the DK podcast shows for everybody.
Exactly. Make sure you're liking and subscribe. Hit that little bell button or whatever the hell it is on whatever you're looking at. So yeah, we do all that training. We walk you through some stuff. We get you to make some fake contracts. You send it to me for some e-signature fun stuff. And then we start on your marketing stuff with you too. We work on your social media because there's rules and requirements for social media.
Every firm or every published like advertisement has to have the firm name in it.
Yes, it does. Most agents don't do that. So it's got to have the name of it where you can see it at all times too. So if you send out a
newsletter,
I was going to say a Facebook post and it was in the caption, but not in the title, and somebody didn't read the top of it or read the top and didn't read the caption, you could get in trouble for it. Did you know you had to keep a copy of it too?
Yeah, for 3 years.
Even if you delete, see, that's the reason why I passed this test.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you got to keep a copy of all that. So we go over the processes of how we do things. We also talk about our graphic people that we have that make all of our graphics for us. So you can just go sell real estate. It's fun. Hey. Makes life a little bit easier, especially whenever I can't draw a stick figure. So
neither can I.
Yeah.
I can draw an S. Like the 3 lines, lines. I can draw one of those.
I thought that was before your time. So I bet you your S would be different than mine.
We'll have to try.
Yes. So we do all that with our agents. And then we show them how to use some of our software that we have, like our contact management system and how to search for properties correctly. And I know that sounds like it would be something simple, but it's not. Because people screw that up all the time.
I'd believe it.
There's a lot of agents missing properties that are on the market for clients because they're not searching the right way. What else do? We sort of hang out. We do a lot of meetings after the fact. Make sure that you're comfortable with everything. Because it's just sort of like getting to a football game.
Yeah.
Once the game time hits, you forget everything you're supposed to know, and then you just get all frazzled. And so
it's just muscle memory.
It is. And so we try to make sure that everybody's, went through enough reps and everything else that they're confident in what they're doing.
All right. If there was one way, like you could say, like, all right, you're going to learn the most within this specific time period by doing this, like what would it be? Like take you from like not knowing crap to like on up there, like
so knowing stuff or being productive or
like
two totally
more productive on it.
So if I was going to suggest to a brand new agent of one thing to do, there's a book called Ninja Selling, and it's actually real estate based, but you could watch it in any kind of sales field. If you're in sales, it'd be a great book to pick up. But it will help you learn how to keep in contact, market to your sphere of influence, and do it in a way that they know that you appreciate and care for them. And my biggest suggestion is don't be pushy.
Yeah.
Like I told somebody actually yesterday that they probably shouldn't buy a house right now. Like they were sort of like trying to get into it, a little bit hesitant, and they told me their story. I was like, you don't need to buy right now. And they looked at me like I'm stupid because I'm not going to get paid anytime soon, or maybe never.
Yeah.
But with their situation and interest rates and prices of the houses and how long they were going to plan on staying in the house and everything else, I was like, dude, don't buy right now. Stay where you're at. You know, you're going to be way better off and way happier in the long run. Now, that's not for everybody. I'm not telling everybody not to buy a house right now, but you got to be honest with people and
do what's best for your client.
100%. If you do what's best for your client, they'll refer everything. If you do what's best for you to get a paycheck quickly, they're going to know it. They're going to know it real quick. And you'll never see them again. So that's the hardest thing to do, is deal with friends and family. And then they feel like you're shitting on them, and you might be, and then they figure it out, and you just want to get a commission check, pushed them into a property. So it's a lot about patience. So, yeah. Do you have reserves put away for until you get ready for real estate?
What do you mean reserves? Like
you got money put back, because it takes a little while to sell your first house, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Most companies, it takes about 6 months to sell your first house. Do you know 85% of the realtors in the United States haven't sold a property this year?
85% haven't?
Haven't sold a single property.
What percentage of the firm has of mail?
I don't know anybody who hadn't sold one this year, unless they're just brand new.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah, I'm about 99% positive nobody has not sold one at our company.
Looks like we're not part of the 85.
Oh, no. It's 85% of agents, not companies. So like, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, good for you, man.
Well, it's good for all of us. Yeah. You get what you put into it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's with anything.
So, what are you most nervous about getting started in real estate?
I'm not really nervous about anything. I'm more curious than nervous. Because, like, I don't know, it's like I'm playing cards, and it's like, you know, seeing how your hand's going to end up. Like, see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah, I'm more, like, curious and excited than nervous. Because, my thing is like, I know I'm going to mess something up, so why not just go ahead and accept that and then realize that you got to learn on it?
Yeah, you're definitely going to screw up. You're going to lose deals. You're going to lose clients. You're going to piss people off one way or another. It's just like any other industry. Like, you're going to mess up. But you got to be willing to learn from other people and talk it out. Don't be shy about it. Make your phone calls in front of other agents. They're there to help you, not to make fun of you. That's my job, to make fun of you when you do something stupid.
Yeah. But, like, there again, like, Manuel does have, like, a good, like, support group, like, on that end of things. Like, some of them might not give you the best advice of others, but they're, in the end, they're there to support you.
Yeah, I think some people are, everybody's giving you advice based off of what they think. Some of it might not fit for your needs and stuff like that, but that's just being completely honest. Like, what you're going to do versus somebody else might not work for you. But speaking of card games, that's a good analogy for real estate, because I feel like there's a bunch of different avenues to make money in real estate. So it's like playing cards. Like, if you're really good at poker versus really good at blackjack, that's two totally different games to play and to learn. So, you might go into listings, or you might go into buyers, or you might go into relocations, or you might go into estates or divorces, or whatever your niche is. If you sort of stick with it, that's the best way to be. Like, one of our top agents, doesn't handle buyers at all. She refers everything out, all of her buyers.
So she gets the referral fee for the buyer and
then just handles the sellers. Yeah.
Man, I get that.
Well, and then you can concentrate on what you're good at and what's.
But like before I get to that point, I feel like I need to like experience all of them. You know what I'm saying?
I do think that you need to experience a little bit of everything, so you can actually learn the contract processes. Like our top agents all use transaction coordinators. We got one at our company that handles everything. You don't have to use her, but our top agents use it. But I always tell our new agents, go learn a couple of deals first so you know what you're supposed to be looking for before you actually go use a TC. So,
well, I agree with that statement because, like, for me, I feel like you need to learn your stuff before you have someone else do it.
Yeah.
So that way, like, if they mess up, you know that they're messing up.
Exactly. Like if you own a construction company and you don't know how to build anything, then you don't know if somebody's screwing you over halfway through a build and have to rip out a wall.
Yeah.
So, just learn enough of it so you're comfortable, but you don't have to be an expert at every field. But just like I am with video editing, I'm just good enough to be dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, it takes time, you know? It takes time. And then we got time.
Well, good, because it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to sell your first property. So.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel like I could get one quicker.
Oh, I think you can too. I'm just telling you, our national average is 6 to 12 months. Ours is 3 to 6 months, depending on if you're part-time or full-time. Most of our agents close their first deal in 3 months if they're full-time.
Yeah. What's the quickest y'all have ever had a new agent come in and close a deal?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah, it was pretty much instant.
But like, is that like straight off the schooling?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. You trying to beat that?
Yeah, we got to do it in 2. We got to do it in 2.
Well, that means you need a cash investor. It can't be a loan.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Well, so I might have some people in the contacts.
Well, and that's the whole thing is you got to go talk to your own people, figure out what's going on. So, but we'll keep everybody informed. I'll show everybody your sphere of influence spreadsheet. See how long it is. See.
Just give out all my clients information.
No, we're not. I'll blank out a little bit of here and there. It'll be Kermit the Frog and Minnie Mouse on there and stuff like that.
Yeah, there'll only be about 2 or 3 people, you know. You got to keep that circle small.
Not in real estate. So, well, you got anything else to add?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, we'll keep up with your real estate deals and go from there.
Yeah. Come along. Come along for the journey.
All right. Later.
Later.